Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Previously, Mariah Gorey here. Sorry, I can't separate her name from Mariah Carey. It's Maria Gorey. Yes, she is the coroner who did the autopsy for Gregson in this case we're trying to solve, and she quite candidly told us that Male Strongheart ordered her to strike the time of death from the record. But she amended the statement in the autopsy report for us, saying that it looks like the body was tampered with to disguise the time of death. And we're still in the middle of a conversation with her, so we'll pick her brain a bit more. But first I actually want to say, this cutesy goth aesthetic, it's so bizarrely specific, yet I've seen it a few times now. You got Perona from One Piece, Queen Skahak from Final Fantasy XIV, and now Maria here. It's just so specific. I wonder if it's like a thing. Like, I know they always say that there's no such thing as an original story. Like, you see a trope in one place, you see it 1,000 times elsewhere, but I just wonder what the origin of this idea is. Anyway.
The professor's execution was Mama's first big case. She had to be in attendance at Barclay Prison's execution chamber and sign the certificate to confirm the convict's death. Mama is the best coroner in the world, you know. I was so proud of her.
But the execution didn't actually take place.
No, and worse still, Mama actually helped with the jailbreak. I didn't want to know. Oh dear, you found out recently, you mean? I believed in her, in Mama, but now I wonder if I'm starting down the same path as her.
You mean because you omitted the time of death on this autopsy report? But that's because Lord Strongheart forbade you from including it.
Just like Mama, I'm sure she was coerced by somebody too.
Yes, that's my feeling as well.
There's no doubt that there were powerful forces at play 10 years ago. The execution couldn't have been staged without a lot of people at the prison knowing about it. Obviously, the prison governor must have been in on it as well. The big man with the little handcuffs? According to what he told us, he was tricked by the chief warder. He says he knew nothing about it. Of course he said that. I'd say the same thing.
Just who was behind that jailbreak all those years ago? You mentioned the autopsy of Clint Van Zeeks.
It was at a time when carrying out autopsies of murder victims was very unusual. It's still not a practice that's observed in our country even now. It turned out that he was the professor's final victim, and when the autopsy was performed, Mama was present, although only as the secondary assistant. The person leading the procedure was called Dr. John H. Wilson.
Oh, okay.
That's right, my daddy.
Wait, you knew?
And there was one other person present, the primary assistant. He was a visiting student from the Far East.
Wait, a visiting student?
It must have been my father, Eugen Mikotoba.
I had no idea Professor Mikotoba had been involved in something so important.
But the outcome of that historic autopsy was the discovery of a vital piece of evidence that led to the capture of the professor.
So that's how they came to identify Genshin Asogi as the infamous mass murderer. Do you happen to know anything about that piece of evidence? Can you tell us any more?
Would you like to see the records for yourself? Would that be all right? What's the point of keeping records if people can't look at them? They're filed under V at the back of those cupboards, with the other records from the last decade.
Thank you. Let's see. Van Zieks. That's strange.
What, Mr. Naruhodo?
They aren't here. There's nothing under Van Zieks.
There must be.
Perhaps somebody took them away?
No one's allowed to take documents related to the professor case out of this room. But you're right, they're gone.
Well, when was the last time somebody looked at them? Do you remember?
It was... Oh, yes, I remember now. It was 2 years ago. A consulting detective came one day saying that he'd like to see the records.
No, you don't mean...
Herlock Sholmes was his name.
Okay. Deep down, I knew that was coming.
Do you think he stole the records? Oh, no, surely not. Iris, that can't be right, can it?
Iris? Uh-oh.
Runo. I hope you don't mind, but...
What is it, Iris?
I've just remembered something very important I have to do. I'm going to have to leave you now. Oh, this is very sudden, Iris. Well, we'll come with you then. Oh, no, there's no need. You and Runo can take your time here. Bye for now then. Good luck. Wait a minute, little girl. Huh? Me? I remember now. You've been here before, haven't you?
Have you, Iris?
Yes, 2 years ago when that detective came. You were with him, weren't you? You were a living specimen then, too.
That's the way it usually works, yes. You don't think she's the thief, do you?
Oh, was I? I really don't remember. Anyway, sorry, but I must dash.
Wait, Iris.
I'll brew up a pot for you when you get home.
Oh. What's the matter with her? She's behaving really strangely all of a sudden. Well, in that case, we won't keep you any longer either.
It's been quite a while since I had any visitors. That was really fun. But next time you come, I prefer it if you are ready for dissection.
I can't make any promises, sorry. It's a bit strange that the records of Clint Van Zieks' autopsy have disappeared. But I think we've asked all we came to ask now. Huh. Anything else? Let's have a closer look at this. Then again, let's not. At least, not while she's armed. Okay. Thank you for the chat. I just realized her hairstyle's in the pattern of a butterfly, too. Okay. Iris, what's up? Oh, she's not home yet. Huh. I think we left Caden hanging. Oh, no, we did not. We left someone hanging. Wasn't Kazuma. I know we finished with him. Maybe it was Strongheart? No? The Waterloo Hotel? No. Okay, Van Zeeks. No! I feel so alone. Where is everyone? Am I the last man on Earth? Oh, hello. The police are still busily investigating in here, then.
But Gina's nowhere to be seen. Where is she?
Yes, it has been blissfully quiet, hasn't it? Perhaps she's out investigating on her own, practicing what her boss taught her.
Well, I expect she'll be back before too long. Shall we wait?
Actually... was that case always there? There's something different about this room since the last time we were here, isn't there?
We could always use the time to investigate more thoroughly.
I'm still really bothered by this chair. Why is it broken? This little trunk wasn't here before, was it?
Oh, it appears to be made of metal. It must be very heavy.
There's a gash in the side.
I wonder to whom it belongs. There are some initials on the outside. Look. T.G.
Tobias Gregson. Let's ask one of the policemen if they know how it came to be here. Oi, what do you think you're doing? Yeah, it's her.
That's my trunk, that is. Hands off. Gina.
Where were you hiding?
I don't know. He leaves something unattended for a few seconds, and every Tom, Dick, and Harry's got his greedy eyes on it.
Oh man. That reminds me. I brought, when I was like 4 years old, or 5 maybe, I had a little plastic tricycle. Like, plastic, bright yellow, blues, and reds. It was like a small child's toy, but nevertheless, I loved it. And one day, my mother brought me to a public park with like a playground and a slide and swings and everything. There's a little paved trail on the side, and I was riding my tricycle that we brought with us in the trunk of our car to on the pavement. And I forget the context, but there was a point where my mother went over to me and was like, okay, Riley, we need to go on a little walk. So leave your tricycle behind. It'll be fine just leaving it there. Just come with me for a bit. And I was holding her hand, and as we were walking away from it, I just kept looking back and looking back at my tricycle longingly, so worried it would be stolen. And then right before my eyes, another kid my age toddled on over to it, and I saw him get on my tricycle. So I whipped my hand out of my mother's hand, and I just sprinted as fast as my stubby little toddler legs could carry me, and I pushed him off my tricycle. And he cried. I have no memory of what happened next, but it's a very powerful memory in my mind. Just a wild guess, Gina, but...
What? Spit it out, Otto.
Is it fair to say that you've only owned that trunk since this morning's trial?
What? Well, what are you trying to say? Come on, this trunk goes with me everywhere. Always has. Where have you been the last year?
Trying not to incur your wrath, mainly. Well, we can't examine it anymore, so I guess she picked it up.
You should hear them talking at the yard now. They should be ashamed of themselves. They're saying that it was the boss who killed all them bludgers.
Ah, you mean the whole Reaper thing?
Yeah. Apparently the boss was investigating stuff that no one else at the yard knew nothing about. Stuff to do with all them criminals what got off scot-free.
Yes, the ones prosecuted by Lord Van Zeeks who used bribery and corruption to evade conviction.
Well then, obviously it was that bloomin' Reaper giving the orders, weren't it?
But why would people be suspecting Inspector Gregson of being involved in the killings?
There was a notebook hidden in his office.
Oh no, this doesn't sound good.
It had details about all the crimes that have been pegged as the Reaper's work.
What?
No! Did you see it, Gina? Did you see that notebook? They wouldn't flamin' let me, 'cause I'm just an apprentice apparently. But it was me who found it, and he was my boss. That's right. I was pretty miffed about it, so I sneaked a peek at what it said anyway. Oh,
that's our Gina. So, you managed to see what was written in Gregson's secret notebook anyway, did you?
Way I see it, it's my right to read what he wrote. And what had he written, Gina? Dates, times, places, names, an whole long list of them. All details about the bludger supposed to have been done in by the Reaper. But there could be an explanation for that. Perhaps it was a record of the Inspector's investigations into the Reaper's activities. Exactly! That's what I said. That's the first thing you'd think, right? As it happens, it was full of names I recognized anyway.
Well, the Reaper's targets were almost exclusively known leaders of London's criminal underworld.
Well, yeah, but there was one name right at the end that was a bit odd.
At the end of the list, you mean?
I'm pretty sure the date against it was 31st of October. Oh, the day before the Inspector was found dead.
So, what was the odd name?
It weren't like a name I'd ever seen before. It was something like, Nah, it's no good. I can't remember it. I don't think it was an English name, put it that way. Oh dear, what a pity. There was something else too. I don't know if it matters, but the same name kept coming up over and over. Shin, it was. Don't suppose it means anything, but...
Did you say Shin?
Huh? What? It does mean something?
Lord Van Zeeks knew the name too. He mentioned her as well. The woman who actually did the deeds. And now we find out her name appeared in Gregson's secret notebook. We haven't seen you for a little while, have we, Gina?
Well, of course not. I've been busy, ain't I? Investigating and that. The lads at the yard are trying to trace the boss's movements the day before it happened.
The day before? That would be the undercover investigation into the Red-Headed League, then.
Only the boss didn't go, did he? You found some cove what was pretending to be him, didn't you, Otto?
Yes, it was Mr. Vigil who actually went to the park on Lime Street that day, posing as Gregson.
Well, anyway, you ain't the only one turning stuff up. I've got my own ways of getting results. Yeah! When me and my partner are here together, there's nothing we can't track down. Oh, little Toby, he's such a faithful friend.
So, have you tracked anything down then?
What do you think, eh? Of course we have. Can't tell you though, police business, innit?
Ugh.
Anyway, the point is, if you lot ever need any help, you know who to turn to, right? Me and the whole L-hound here.
Right, because he looks so hellish, honest. Gina, about your hellhound there.
Chief Inspector Toby, you mean? He's the pride of the force, he is. In Japanese, police dog means something quite different and not altogether nice to those involved in crime. But here in Britain, it's a wonderful compliment, it seems, for a canine at least.
It should be. After all, in the Great Exhibition case the other day, it was Toby here who managed to locate Drebber's workshop.
Maybe it's time for another demonstration of what this super dog can do, eh?
Do we have something the Chief Inspector could catch the scent of, I wonder? Well, this was stolen by those, two redheads. It could lead us to the hideout the redheads were at, but I don't think there's anything more to uncover there. No, we need to find Gregson. I'm thinking either the revolver, the red hairpiece, or the stopwatch. If we could find out where Gregson was, or rather, something that was kept on his body while he was being frozen to preserve him and mess up the time of death? Oh. We'll give this a shot.
Take that!
Well, Chief Inspector Toby, if you don't mind having a sniff of this. Oh, he's snoofing. He might be a little too keen, don't you think? The Chief Inspector made short work of Gina there. Oh, look what he's gone to.
Oh my! That trunk clearly still has a very strong scent. Of Inspector Gregson.
In other words, it must have belonged to him.
Oh, all right. It's a fair cop, I suppose.
And you nearly got away with it, too. Oh, don't you say it. Don't you say it. Oh. Oh. They abstained? I think they nearly said, if it wasn't for that stupid dog. Oh, man. Scooby-Doo, where are you?
You always talk so proudly of Chief Inspector Toby's nose and what it can achieve. Did it not cross your mind that he might identify something that was right next to us? Yeah, that was a bit of a bloomer, weren't it?
That's enough now then, Gina.
Huh?
I think it's time you told us the truth about that trunk.
It weren't like that. It just weren't.
What are you talking about?
I know what's going through that head of yours, but that ain't what happened.
Alright then, what did happen?
Well, like I said before, we were trying to trace the boss's movements. So I let Toby here have a whiff of the boss's overcoat. And as soon as I'd done that, he went off like a shot. Straight to that sandwich.
To a sandwich? Not to a bag of chips?
Mr. Naruhodo, I believe Gina means the witness.
Oh! I forgot about that sandwich.
Yeah, he had it hidden between them wooden boards of his, the boss's trunk.
You mean when they heard the sound like a gunshot and all piled in here?
Exactly. He nabbed it from the scene.
Wow.
Goodness. Me and the chief inspector gave that sandwich a good grillin', and you know what he said? I thought it might fetch a good price, and the chap wouldn't be needing it anymore, so... Well, that's all I did, nothing more. Wouldn't you, Adam and Eve, the cheek of it, eh? Stealing the dead boss's stuff to flog?
So Miss Venus wasn't the only one to meddle with the scene of the crime, then?
How could they? So anyway, that's how it happened. And it's a pretty decent trunk, so I figured I might as well make use of it. Is there somewhat wrong with that, eh? Well,
maybe you and Mr. Sandwich should try to find the answer to that question together.
I think perhaps that trunk should be turned over to the police, don't you? What are you on about? I am the police.
Gina, if you wouldn't mind, could we maybe examine it?
Yeah, alright then. Do what you want with it. Thank you. We shall make a detailed record of our examination of the evidence.
Aha. Uh-oh. What's the matter with Toby? Why is he acting so aggressively towards me all of a sudden?
Mr. Naruhodo, be careful. It must be the trunk.
Arg!
Toby, oi, what are you doing? You're gonna lick his face off. Mr. Naruhodo! Mr. Naruhodo! Gina, quickly, hail a carriage.
Oh, took us back home, eh?
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, are you alright?
Did you really fall unconscious? Miss Susato. Ah, conscious again at last. A blessed relief, my dear fellow. After all, to drop dead after a moderate licking by a small terrier, most unseemly.
What is or isn't...
God, I love that animation so much.
What is or isn't seemly is irrelevant here, Mr. Sholmes. I'm so glad there's no lasting damage. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, thank you. Did you bring me back here? Ah, what's this on my head? A bandage? Sadly, we had no ice, so that's a compress of sugar water. Sugar water?
Don't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. It's a first aid treatment that my father taught me.
Oh, thank you. So, let us take tea when you're feeling up to it. But of course, no sugar in the patient's cup. The bump on my head is throbbing sweetly enough, don't worry. It was the fall that did it.
Whenever you feel ready, then.
Huh. Well, before we talk to Sholmes, let's look. Yeah, that's a big old gash. How the hell? Oh, and blood. Have you seen this huge gash across the side of the trunk here? It's gone right through the leather and into the metal behind.
Gosh, for a metal chest like this to have been so badly damaged. Whatever made the gash must have struck the side of the trunk with considerable force.
I wonder how it happened. Look at this dark stain here. Do you think...
Yes, I'm afraid so. I think it's blood.
Ugh. I knew you were going to say that, so that presumably means...
that this was present at the scene when Inspector Gregson was killed. It's the most logical conclusion, yes.
I think Gina's been carrying this around with her. If you didn't know any better, I suppose it looks like a grease stain from all the fish and chips. Let's have a look inside. Wait a second. I thought that looked a bit weird. There's the tip of a knife blade. Do you see that? There's something stuck in the side of the trunk there. It's glinting.
It looks like a fragment of metal of some sort. But it's wedged in so tightly I can't remove it.
Well, don't cut yourself. You better leave it, I think. Oh, I will have to remember that. Look, there's something inside.
Oh, let's see. It appears to be a passport, authorizing him to travel overseas.
Was Inspector Gregson about to go on a trip abroad then? Yeah, to Paris. Or just France, I guess.
Perhaps the date of departure might tell us something. That was... Oh!
What is it?
It was for travel on the 31st of October, just one day before the incident.
What? Really? Uh-huh. Gregson went to France the day before his body was discovered. Wait, hold on. What was that again? Hold on. He went to France the day before his body was discovered? Oh, what the... That's weird. Unless he just missed it completely. And he was killed multiple days before he was found. Odd. Tobias Gregson, passport number ACD0522. Date of departure within 1 week from the 31st of October. Oh, that's quite the leeway. Destination Dunkirk, France. Travel police business, permission for the applicant and one additional person to travel. Gina, maybe. Odd. Oh, okay. Is there a dialogue if he... No. I wish Sholmes could weigh in on the shovel-spade debate. That would be great. Thank you for your concern, Mr. Sholmes. My dear fellow, think nothing of it. I must say I was quite startled when I heard that you'd been attacked by a dog. For a moment, I feared that infamous murderer of so many had come back from the dead. You mean the professor? Fortunately, I see your prized throat is unscathed. That stiff, turned-up collar of yours obviously afforded some welcome protection. Was I that close to death? All I really remember is the dog licking my face over and over and over again. Well, if you wish to avoid such troubles in future, a little mustard spread on the cheeks should do the trick. I should think that would balance the sweetness of your bandage rather splendidly. Well, thanks. Guess we'll move. Is there something else here to do? No? Maybe Iris is home now. I think she is. What? Huh? This is weird. Is that Professor Mikotoba? Is that teapot broken on the ground? What on earth is going on in here? Am I having a bad dream? Ah, no, it's an old German folk song. Rather a fine rendition, I think. This better not get me copyright struck on YouTube. That's the least of my concerns. Iris? Iris, what's the matter? Who is that that relaxed gentleman over there? Iris? Is she even listening? Excuse me, sir. I do apologize for troubling you whilst you're singing so merrily, but would you be kind enough to explain the situation? Well, that worked. A crooning gentleman and a mute young girl, a rather tantalizing juxtaposition. I'm pretty sure that's the record in the background. And one that appears to have incited the gods of deduction within me to find their voices too. Ah, Mr. Sholmes, do you mean? The strains of reasoning within me are playing now as a delightful duet. One melody sings of a reunion full of nostalgia, whilst the other is a morose theme about the great secret you're trying to so desperately to conceal, Iris. She's turned as white as a sheet. So as usual, you've instantly seen to the very heart of the matter. And by the time my own brief performance is over, I feel sure this gentleman's song will reach its finale. So then, to Musicland, where all is sweetness and delicacy and harmony. Pray do enjoy Herlock Sholmes' latest logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh, here we go. The game is afoot. How can't the game ever be a hand? Firstly, we consider the gentleman's nationality. Clearly, he's German with no grasp of the English language. It's Mikotoba. As evidenced by the Germanic song he sings and his apparent inability to understand when asked to desist. So, why is the man here at all and in such apparently high spirits? The answer, of course, Iris, is clearly known to you. Indeed, we need only follow the gaze of those bright young eyes to unravel that particular part of this mystery. The reason for the man's mildly irritating warbling is revealed by the herbal tea. You obviously offered our German guest a cup of your latest herbal blend. The tea's delectable flavor has made the man's spirits soar, and resulted in this joyful ditty tumbling incessantly from his lips. I eagerly await sampling of the flavor myself, that I may join the fellow in his state of elation. Ah. Now to the next question. Who exactly is this gentleman availing himself so thoroughly of the satay? As it happens, a number of years ago now, a certain gentleman of German origin engaged my services in solving a particularly delicate case. He required the retrieval of letters once sent to an acquaintance that might have proved problematic. In order to conceal his noble identity, he also arrived at my office in a mask. The gentleman's name was Wilhelm Gottsrick Sigismund von Ormstein. What? The King of Germany. Oh. Okay, maybe I should have been nicer to the little prince. If my memory serves, the mask worn by this gentleman is identical. Yes, there can be no question. That mask belongs to the King of Germany. It would appear that His Majesty remembers the fine service I afforded him, and has decided to show his face again, mask and all, in order to express his gratitude. A well-mannered monarch indeed, wouldn't you agree, my dear fellow? So the identity of this masked visitor is in fact my former client, the King of Germany. Indeed, his son is currently in London as well, enjoying the wonders of the Great Exhibition. Which leaves us with one remaining imponderable. Yes, you, young Iris. But your apparently inexplicable silence is unable to hide the truth.
It's like her mouth is full.
Yes, the reason for your muteness is concealed inside the knapsack. A 5-pound note, I believe. I must say, as your compatriot, I'm deeply saddened. It would appear that you've allowed yourself to be bribed into silence by His Royal Highness, earning yourself some spending money in exchange for keeping quiet about the King's secret. And now the final piece of the puzzle. What is the secret you strive to hide with your silence, Iris? Ah, yes, we need only follow that brief involuntary twitch of your eyes to find the answer. You are attempting to abscond with that coffee cup.
Where?
My favorite coffee cup, in fact. Or should I say the handle of my favorite coffee cup. It appears that His High-Spirited Highness broke it in the midst of his hijinks. Which leads us to the sad truth. My favorite coffee cup has been broken by the King of Germany, and Iris, you tried to conceal it from me.
I shall have bills sent via governmental channels to the German royal family for its replacement. Oh my god. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this painful puzzle.
Mit dem
I love this game so much. With your silence as well, the fellow's jovial warbling rather rings in the ears, does it not?
Mr. Sholmes, I must say something does rather trouble me. Pray, Miss Usato, do tell.
His Royal Highness doesn't appear to have moved a muscle since we arrived.
Ah,
and you haven't said a word either, Iris. If Mr. Sholmes has it all right, you might as well own up to it now.
your reasoning isn't entirely without substance, I must admit.
And one other thing, Mr. Sholmes.
Yet another grievance, Mr. Naruhodo? Surely not.
Well, I actually read the story of that case recently, the one you were just describing. And according to that, at least, it wasn't the King of Germany, it was the King of Bohemia.
Goodness, was it?
Yes, that's quite true. Master Gotz, the prince, testified to that in court. In his words,
I have come to see the great exhibition all the way from my home in Bohemia.
I would ask you to keep that minor error to yourselves. It could easily become quite a scandal.
I believe, Mr. Naruhodo, that it's our turn now to make some corrections to a number of minor errors that may have slipped in. Yes, even Mr. Sholmes is willing to admit he might be slightly wide of the mark this time. Although it's clear that Iris is definitely hiding something.
We need to find out the truth behind this mysterious scene. But one truth is incontrovertible. My favorite coffee cup is no more. So, shall we embark again on a joint presentation of Herlock Sholmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular? Yes, let's. Oh. So, I'm not gonna be able to get this done in 15 minutes, and even besides, my batteries are really low anyway. I'm very drained. I'm tired. I'm tired today. So it's my channel, my rules, I call it quits when I want. Short video today, short video. Deal with it. Goodness, so it sounds like someone attacked Gregson with a blade. And yet he died of a gunshot wound. That is undeniable. How very odd. Clearly Gregson tried to shield himself with his locker, and a blade edge got wedged into there. Like, man, if we ever have a witness testifying who has a sword on their person, we can just ask to see the tip of it, you know? Wait, doesn't Van Zeeks walk around with a sword? Uh-oh. I don't know. I imagine a sword would be a bit difficult to come by in this day and age. Hold on, I want to take one more look at it. Let's open it up. So, it's hard to see exactly, but... It kind of looks like it's a blade with like a tapered end, kind of. I don't know the exact term. Kind of like you would imagine a kitchen knife to be shaped, or a katana. I don't know. So what's bothering me is the edge of the blade is right here on this side of the chunk of metal. This end here looks flat, right? Might be hard to see on YouTube, but the edge is on this side. So you would think it would want to slash down this way. And if it did, shouldn't this little bit here be caught at the end here? So it hit the trunk, broke immediately, leaving a bit of it lodged in, then somehow continued slicing across? Like, the more logical explanation for this position would be if it was like a underhanded swing that went up diagonally. Oh. No, I just need to turn my thinking upside down. Does this make sense? Wait, no, this still doesn't make sense. Man. I don't know. And if you look at it from the start... Yeah, I guess this makes sense of it being caught there. Got stuck on this little bit of metal as well. Okay. Well, all things considered, Maria is surprisingly nice. She is very invested in her hobby and speaks very weirdly to the living, but she has a good head on her shoulders. I think she has a bright future. Hopefully. It was great seeing Toby again, who was the best boy, as always, forever and onward. Okay, maybe Hosonaga is a bit in the running, but you never know. God, I miss Hosonaga. That guy was such a bro. Man, where did Hosonaga go, man? I know there's like no story logic for him sticking around in Britain, but even still, for how much of a die-hard brother he is. Man, just ride or die. I love him. Love you, Hosonaga. You deserve the best. I miss him. Well, alright. I think I've run out of things to say. I wonder, like... Clearly Iris is upset that a teapot got broken, but is there something in her mouth? What the hell did Professor Mikotoba drink to go all woozy like that? What the hell's going on here? Oh, I just don't know. And where did that nice shawl come from? Oh, was it the one on the chest? I don't know. Well, anyway, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time, when we definitely get to the trial portion, for sure. Right? Yeah. Until then, please take care.